Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. This is Mason Films here, and this is kind of new for the channel. But welcome to Unnatural Frightening and Occult, aka U.F.O. I am here with my friend Peter, and we are.
Hey everyone.
We're doing. This is basically. It's just a little fun podcast where we can talk about some spooky stuff. We're recording this kind of late at night. It's 9:38 p.m. as of recording this, so it's a little spooky hour.
Yup.
So basically, what we're gonna do for this whole podcast, we're just gonna talk about some creepy stuff, maybe some like ghosts, some paranormal stuff. For this episode, I've got some true crime stuff. I've picked out some good topics, at least I think, and Peter has not seen what I picked out. I told him the big main things, but I did not tell him these two little things that we're going to start out with. So here is what we are starting out with to begin with. I got all of these off of Wikipedia. This is like a big Wikipedia episode. So I'll read to you a little bit about this, and then we can talk. This is the My Way killings. So I'll just read straight from the Wikipedia. The My Way killings are a social phenomenon in the Philippines, referring to a number of fatal disputes which arose due to the singing of the song My Way, popularized by Frank Sinatra. A New York Times article estimated the number of killings to be up to about 6 in 2010. Explanations for these instances differ from the song being simply frequently sung, or just because of the aggressiveness of the lyrics, which really, it's not that aggressive. It's a Frank Sinatra song. But basically, so what this is, pretty much, is people are singing this song called My Way by Frank Sinatra, and they're just killing each other over it.
Yeah, like Frank Sinatra, I think would be like the last person I would think would be involved in this.
I know it's a weird thing. It's just it's literally just so here I'll read a little more so we can kind of get some more background. So yeah, this says background and history. So karaoke singing is a widespread popular pastime in the Philippines. Yeah, okay. So in the 2000s, about a half dozen incidents occurred in connection with strenuous complaints over the singing of the song My Way, promoting Filipino newspapers to name the phenomenon the My Way killings. Attention to these killings peaked on May 29th, 2007, when a 29-year-old karaoke singer was shot dead by a security guard at a bar. The guard had complained that the young man's rendition of My Way was off-key, but the man refused to stop singing, prompting the guard to pull out a .38 caliber pistol and shoot the man dead.
What?
So yeah, I was just looking for like weird stories, and I found this. It's just
That's super weird.
I know. It's just like it's people getting really mad at this, like just this song being sung like over and over again for karaoke. That's the whole thing.
Is it like were all these scenarios only in the Philippines or was it around the world?
Let me see. The one that I just said is from San Mateo, which is in the Philippines. But yeah, it looks like all of these are in the Philippines. It's just like a strange occurrence. It has an official name. It's called Karaoke Rage.
That's really weird.
And it's not just in the Philippines. There is, let's see. Okay, so it says in March of 2008, a man was arrested in Thailand for shooting 8 people to death in a dispute stemming from several karaoke offerings, including repeated renditions of John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads. So so some dude was singing Country Roads and just got shot dead.
What? That is so weird.
A man at a Malaysia coffee shop hogged the karaoke microphone so long he was stabbed to death by other patrons. And then the most recent one is in June of 2014, which is a karaoke singer in Seattle, Washington was attacked and beaten by a woman who wanted him to stop singing Coldplay's song Yellow. it's weird. It's very strange, I gotta say.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's all just it's just karaoke. All right, so now I gotta ask you a question. So let's just say let's say you're unhinged, all right, and you're at a karaoke, you're at a little karaoke place, having a grand old time. What song does somebody sing to get you to kill them? Like, what song would somebody sing that you would want to kill them for singing?
Probably, what's that one, Justin Bieber? It's Baby, Justin
Baby,
Bieber.
dude, that's a classic. I mean, I feel like if someone's I feel like if someone's going to, I'm trying to think of like common song. If someone does Wonderwall, I think you could just toss a little knife at him. Maybe I feel like it's justifiable. Just throw a little thing at him. All right, so we got
super weird though.
I know it's really strange. So we got the My Way killings, and sticking on to the theme of the of music, we've got the Buckwheat Boys. All right, now the name might not be that familiar, but when I tell you what they made, what their number one song is, you'll know them. If you recognize a song called Peanut Butter Jelly Time, do you know that? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Long
the
time
banana?
ago. Yeah. They made that song. But do you know about what happened to the founding member of the of this band that made Peanut Butter Jelly Time?
No idea.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you here. So, just for a little background, the Buckwheat Boys was an American novelty group founded by Marcus Bowens and Jermaine Fuller, with the later addition of J.J. O'Neill and Dougie Williams. The Buckwheat Boys were signed by Coach Records and recorded their first and only full-length record from this self-titled debut album. The song Peanut Butter Jelly Time became viral on the internet after a flash-animated music video featuring a dancing banana was created. Now, they also had another song called Ice Cream and Cake, which got very popular. It was part of some good advertising campaigns for Baskin Robbins. But the real thing that happened is this is how the band broke up. Now, when you think about bands breaking up, you got your little infighting, your little disputes. But here's what happened to the Buckwheat Boys. In 2002, founding member and vocalist Jermaine Fuller died during an 11-hour police standoff.
What?
During the standoff, it gets weirder. During the standoff, his brother-in-law, Snoop Dogg, attempted to calm Fuller down and convince him to surrender, to no avail.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is real. This is an actual thing. And I found, along with the Wikipedia article, because, I'm going to be like a little English teacher here, Wikipedia is not a real source. I found the actual news article here, which has rapper made plea during a little standoff. But yeah, so the whole you can read the whole article if you want. I'm not going to read the entire thing, otherwise we'd be here for quite a while. But yeah, I am getting yelled at by the website for using an ad blocker. The website's yelling at me. That's, how dare they? So yeah, that is how the Buckwheat Boys came to an end.
That is super. Snoop Dogg though, like what are the odds they're related?
I know it's such a like strange little thing. It's like, oh wow, it's like one of those cosmic coincidences. So now we've got let's
would make a good movie.
It would, honestly. I would watch a Buckwheat Boys full-length documentary, like the the like Motley Crue documentary on Netflix, or not documentary, like the movie on Netflix. I'd watch that about the Buckwheat Boys. That would be the greatest. I would watch it. So now we have very famous event here, and we're not far from where this happened. We're in Wisconsin. This happened in Chicago, and future me put the video in right here. All right, that was great. Yeah, that's the Max Headroom incident. It's probably one of the most famous like TV hackings of all time.
This is one with the guy who said catch the wave, right?
Yeah, yeah, he had
Yeah.
the little
Yeah, I know
Coca-Cola thing. Yeah, it's okay. So let's let's kind of dive deep into this because this is another one of those big coincidence things. Because to this day, nobody knows who did it. There's a lot of theories, a lot of stuff like that, but no one knows. It's kind of like it's basically a mystery. No one knows. No one knows how it happened. No one knows like who it was. No one knows who's behind the mask, even to this day. Or the dude that was spanking him. that was great. So this is basically what happened. I know we just played a little bit of the video, but I can just read what happened. So here we had, let's just go from like right here. For 15 seconds, the screen went black, then displayed a person wearing a Max Headroom mask and sunglasses, accompanied by a buzzing sound and swaying in front of a rotating metal panel that mimicked Max Headroom's geometrical background effect. The hijack lasted 28 seconds, which was stopped after engineers at WGN switched the broadcast frequency of their link to the transmitter atop the John Hancock Center. So after that, it was during the news. So, little guy, little dude who was doing the thing was like, well, if you're wondering what happened, so am I. It's really weird. But it gets weirder. It gets weirder. It always gets weirder. Later that night, during a broadcast of the Doctor Who serial Horror of Fang Rock, the signal was interrupted again, and this is probably the more famous thing of the dude getting his butt cheeks slapped. Yeah, I mean what do you think? Like what if you had to guess? Like have you had your own little theory? What is this?
I literally have no idea.
So
obviously, I don't know.
Here is, and this might blow your mind because I know we have watched some of their videos before, or some of this person's videos before. Do you know? I don't need to ask. Do you know? This is more for dramatic effect. But Shay St. John, right?
Oh, are you serious?
So there is a very popular theory that the guy. Let me look this up for a second.
I don't know why. There was a feeling in my head that I felt like it was him because the movements.
It's like the same, like that hand thing video, and all that. It's kind of like I feel like the voices line up. Honestly, like a little scrumptious piece of trash, all that stuff. Happy Halloween, you scrumptious piece of trash. It's great. Okay, let me look this up really quickly. Shay. And for those of you watching, you can see that I'm failing to type things. So yeah, there is a very popular theory that it was Shay St. John. And I feel like if you look at pictures of him in all the stuff, the masks that they would wear and everything. It's some of the same stuff. I mean, it's like the same material almost. It's just creepy.
You also got to keep in mind that nobody knew who Shay St. John was.
No, not then, because then he got popular like through YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm reading like a little Reddit thread here about this, and it says there's a 16-year gap between the incident and Shay St. John's debut. Foreigner is the guy behind it. Would have been 19 at the time of the incident. I guess it's plausible, but it would depend on his location at the time. The hijack was done in Chicago, and foreigner was from Indiana, which is relatively close. So he was not in. He was not in Illinois, in Chicago, but he was close. I mean, TV signals, they go far.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but
it's such a strange thing. I mean, it's not like a kind of a ghost thing, I mean, it's not like
yeah,
it's
just really like strange.
It can be explained, but it's more like how.
Yeah, especially in 1987. That's pretty weird how they got like that strong of like a device that they could do that.
I know, because like, I mean, now, because while back then, they weren't like guarding TV stuff as much as they do now.
Yeah.
But even back then, to like have the technology and everything to do stuff like that, and I think more stuff that kind of gives like, what am I trying to say? Like weight, I guess, to the theory that it's Shay St. John. I mean, you see how like technologically advanced, like he's got the cameras, he's got everything, and he had enough to like edit his videos in like all the strange ways that he did.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that far off to assume that. I mean, he's smart enough to know like back then how to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but like it's just so weird how like they just lead up to each other so perfectly.
I know, and two, that it wasn't just one TV station too. It was two. It was let me go back to the thing. It was WGN TV, which was the first one, which just interrupted the news, and then it was WTTW, which was the Doctor Who thing, and then that's where all the stuff thing, like when he was holding up the Coke the Pepsi and saying "catch the wave" and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's, let's see. I think of like what's the reason for it, honestly, because there's been other like TV hacks before. There was a guy who called himself Captain Midnight, and he like hacked into HBO and said something about how he's like, oh, the prices are bad or the prices are stupid or whatever. But like this, I don't see the reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, other people had like a reasoning. They were kind of like protesting something or just trying to get their point across.
Yeah,
this is just like.
It's like I mean, even like the motivation could just be to scare someone. I mean, it freaks a lot of people out. I've seen it so many times and it makes me laugh, but
especially with a lot of little kids probably watching like Doctor Who and stuff.
That's true, and I mean, if it's during the first one was during the news too, you have a lot of people watching. People watching like the news,
especially in Chicago.
Exactly. So if you want I feel like whoever it is, they had to know what they were doing. I mean, to do it, and plus to it's like, oh, okay, the news is on at this time, that there's gonna be a lot of people watching, better do it now.
Yeah, they probably like studied for like months and months on what the rates for like views were on every.
Yeah.
Because obviously they were trying to hit a target for what channel had the most views at what time.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's like a lot of these things are just gonna come down to like, wow, it's just really weird. But let's see. So whoever this is still, they're still like wanted or whatever. Let's see. I know there's something else. There's another TV hacking. That's a little more famous, and it freaks me out. So let me look it up. It is called the. There it is. Oh, I saw the picture for it. It freaked me out. Oh, hi there. It was called the Wyoming incident.
Can you send a link?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I'm getting onto the little Wikipedia thing. Well, it's not Wikipedia, but it's something else. Here, I'll just send you it. Sending you it right now. Pictures on here are creepy and they freak me out. But let me just read. Let me just read this, and you can look at it too. I'll just read this. The Wyoming incident, aka the Wyoming hijacking, is a lesser-known case of television broadcast hijacking/hacking. A hacker managed to interrupt broadcasts from a local programming channel believed to serve several smaller communities in the county of, I'm probably going to say it wrong, Nibarawa, I don't know, and aired his or her own video. The video contained numerous clips of disembodied human heads showing various emotions and poses. The camera position changed often, usually every 10 to 15 seconds, and the video was often interrupted by a special presentation announcement. This clip is taken from one of these intervals, and you can watch that if you want. I have seen this before.
No, I just watched it. It's super weird.
It's weird, the faces and everything.
Yeah.
The video is mostly locally well known and would probably not even be that popular if it weren't for the effects it had on the few residents who watched it for an extended period of time. I did not know this. Complaints included vomiting, hallucinations, headaches, etc. While some believed it was paranormal, specialists have determined that the cause of these afflictions were frequencies played regularly throughout the broadcast. In this clip, the frequency being played is somewhere between 17 and 19 hertz. This range of frequency, when played for long periods of time, causes the eyes to subtly vibrate, sometimes inducing visual hallucinations. So that is that's something. And that's I feel like that's creepier than the Max Headroom thing.
Definitely, because the Max Headroom one was probably just like somebody goofing around trying to do something. But obviously these people knew what they were doing, trying to harm people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've watched that a few times. That it actually freaks me out. The video does.
That's super weird.
And for those of you that are watching, I will pull up the pictures right now for you, so that you can see them. And I'm gonna look away from the screen because I hate it so much. But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like for all of you watching. Jeez, that is creepy. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I feel like that's even weirder, honestly. Like that's...
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I mean, like we just said, the Max Headroom thing was probably some new goofing around, but this is, like, genuine harm. Visual hallucinations, headaches, stuff like that.
But, like, Wyoming, too. Like, what person has this type of, like, engineering
exactly. Because it always...
Wyoming.
It always comes back to, like, they have to be super smart, obviously, to be able to get into something like this. And then, yeah,
and it was way more uncommon back, like, at least 20 years ago.
Yeah,
let me super, like...
Let me see if, does it have a year on it? Trying to see if there's a year on this. There's a year that the article was put on, but there's not a year that this happened. I'm trying to see. I'm gonna look. This was 2006. So it wasn't
2006, huh?
It wasn't that long ago. So it's not that it's not weird, but it's more common, at least. It's more like, okay, all right, that makes sense. I mean, somebody could do that. But it's...
I mean, still 2006, you're looking at, there was like still flip phones.
Exactly. Like... And that still, because 2006 has... I'm assuming by then there's, like, tighter security on, like broadcasting and everything.
Especially with Max Headroom incident that happened, they probably had their eyes peeled a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
More.
Because it's like, oh, if somebody can do that to this station, And those were big stations, even if they were just in Chicago. Like WGN, you know, that's where everyone watches the news and everything. That's still like a big station. So I would assume like everyone's like, oh god, better tighten the security or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I can't even look at the thing. Now I'm on the Wikipedia for broadcast signal intrusions, and let's see. Okay, so here's more about the Captain Midnight thing. He hacked into HBO and said, "Good evening, HBO, from Captain Midnight, $12.95 a month. No way. Showtime/movie channel. Beware." So he was just mad. I guess he was mad at the thing. Although, but here, okay. So now that I'm reading it, let's see. This dude actually did get caught. The Captain Midnight guy got caught, and he was fined. Let's see, McDougall, I don't know how to say his name, pled guilty and was fined $5,000 and served a year of probation. And then there was
that for $12.95 of HBO.
Yeah, my guy wouldn't pay $12.95. Now he's got to pay $5,000. What a king! And then after that, it made satellite jamming a felony, so it wasn't even a thing before then.
Mm-hmm.
The Playboy Channel religious message. Let's see that. A broadcast of softcore pornography on the Playboy Channel was disrupted with a text-only religious message on September 6, 1987. The message read, "Thus saith the Lord thy God, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy." Somebody hacked a Playboy Channel to just like spread their religion. That's great. That's actually funny. I'm trying to find more strange things. The Winkers song incident in June and July of 2017, Mansfield 103.2 FM, a local radio station in the UK, had its signal intruded at least 8 times during outside broadcasts. During these intrusions, the Winkers song Misprint was played. And it's like a little comedy song, it seems like. I have never heard it, but I could listen to it, I don't know. It's a real jam, I guess. Someone's gonna hack a place 8 times. So, okay, here we got more satellite feed things. On September 7, 2012, the Disney Channel once again was interrupted on the Dish Network, replacing 6 minutes of Lilo and Stitch with a portion of a hardcore pornographic movie. Oh no, that's so bad. That's so bad.
Oh my, what? That's so bad.
On February 1st, another Comcast head-end in Tucson, Arizona, replaced NBA affiliate KVOA's signal with graphic footage from the pornographic video Wild Cherries 5. For 28 seconds. 28 seconds. I mean, they got the local station for 28 seconds. Somebody got Disney Channel for 6 minutes. Oh my god. Just imagine waking up in the morning with your children being like, "Mom,
let's go watch some Lilo and Stitch.
Mommy, I want to watch Lilo and Stitch." It's just...
Like, imagine you're home alone, having your 12-year-old kid watch your little kid, and you just get home and you see hardcore pornography on TV.
The little kid's trying to explain. He's like, "No, Mom, I was watching Lilo and Stitch." It's like, okay, sure, honey. Okay, here's the other one. Here's another one for the Disney Channel. On May 1st, 2007, a Comcast head-in replaced the Disney Channel's program Handy Manny with hardcore pornography for viewers in Lincroft, New Jersey. Comcast stated it was conducting an investigation into the event's cause, but did not announce findings to the public. This is amazing. Oh, here's more. On April 20th, 2012, 3 full minutes of a gay pornographic film was broadcast during a morning news show on CHCHDT in Hamilton, Ontario. The night before, a cable was cut while it was being fixed While it was being fixed on the morning of the incident, the adult programming was spliced into CHCH's feed. There's just a bunch of stuff with just people getting porn sent to them. This is great. That is some fantastic stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look here. On July 13th, 2007, a grainy photo of a man and woman interrupted Washington DC's ABC affiliate WJLA-TV's digital or HD signal. The picture was not transmitted over the analog signal. However, the incident was deemed a genuine signal intrusion by various websites, but has not been confirmed to be the result of an older HDTV encoded blah 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 blah. Station management stated that the image was from an advertisement for the Oprah Winfrey Show. Very nice. Oprah's getting more advertising. That's just fantastic. All right. Do you think we've explored this enough? This whole little rabbit hole of hijackings.
Yeah.
You want to move on to our big spooky topic? This is the big spooky. This is the Men in Black, not the movie with Will Smith. This is the U.F.O. conspiracy Men in Black. So I'll read a little bit, and then we can just kind of have a little talk. In popular culture and UFO conspiracy theories, Men in Black, aka MIB, are supposed men dressed in black suits who claim to be government agents who harass or threaten UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about what they've seen. It is sometimes implied that they may be aliens themselves. The term is also frequently used to describe mysterious men working for unknown organizations, as well as various branches of government allegedly designed to protect secrets or perform other strange activities. The term is a generic used for any unusual, threatening, or strangely behaved individual whose appearance on the scene can be linked in some fashion with a UFO sighting. Several alleged encounters with the Men in Black have been reported by UFO researchers and enthusiasts. So, on here, this isn't a very big Wikipedia page, but it's got a few little things we can travel down. Men in Black figure prominently in ufology and UFO folklore. In the 1950s and 1960s, ufologists adopted a conspiratorial mindset and began to fear they would be subject to organized intimidation in retaliation for discovering the truth of UFOs. So, basically, what this is people say they've witnessed an abduction, or they've been abducted, or they've seen an alien, or something like that, and they have these Men in Black visit them and basically threaten them to be like, don't say anything, don't do anything, nothing like that, or stuff like that.
I could see why people want to think they're alien. If you were to come from another planet and just take like a little peek at like what we looked like, that would be like the most basic outfit to put on.
That's
to, like,
true.
blend in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a work outfit.
Because, if you're like an alien, you're like, okay, how do I blend in? All right, all these people. Say you go to like New York or something, you got a bunch of business people walking around. It's like, okay, suit, cool, I can do that. And now they're aliens.
Yeah.
They're like say they're imitating humans or whatever.
Yeah.
We have a little account here from someone. In 1947, Harold Dahl claimed to have been warned not to talk about his alleged UFO sighting on Maury Island by a man in a dark suit. In the mid-1950s, the ufologist Albert K. Bender claimed he was visited by men in dark suits who threatened him and warned him not to continue investigating UFOs. Bender maintained that the Men in Black were secret government agents who had been given the task of suppressing evidence of UFOs. So, it's... Alright, here's a question for you. Do you believe in aliens?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I I've always been afraid. I've been afraid of aliens, even though I believe in them.
Well, it's like, who's to say that aliens aren't just us? Like, there's probably people thinking about what we're thinking about right now on another planet. Like, is there other people? Who knows?
And yeah, exactly. There could be like another planet somewhere out there that's like, oh.
I mean, there's infinite galaxies.
Exactly.
There's no way we're not the only one. There's only like it's just like it's like crazy to think about. There's just infinite galaxies.
Yeah, because there could be some planet like off in the middle of nowhere that we haven't even seen yet. That it's basically just Earth 2 or something, and they're just like, oh, I wonder if there's life out there, and that just turns out to be us, and like we'd be aliens to them.
Yeah. Like, who's to say we're the main planet?
Exactly. I mean, we've assumed because they're like, okay, these planets that are around us don't have anything, but it's like, all right, what is that, 7? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 8 or 9, maybe 12 planets. I don't know.
Exactly. It's like you can't assume. It's like, no, that's not. I mean, that's not everything. Obviously, if you've seen space, we sent stuff up there. We've seen other planets, or at least what we thought were other planets.
Yeah, because like all these other planets have like water and living, like, germs and stuff on them. It's like, how'd they get there?
Exactly. And then, like, if humans started as like cells floating around in like water or whatever at the beginning of millions and millions
100
of years.
billion stars in the universe. That's literally like, that's 10 times the amount of people that live on Earth.
Exactly.
Actually more, but just estimating.
But they're like, I don't know, it seems really weird like that there's people that don't believe in aliens. It's like,
yeah, it's just like, well, it's usually just like more people who are like really like close to their religion and they don't want to believe it. But
that's true. But there has to be. I mean, that's like one of the things. There's always like in movies and stuff. It's like, oh, it's scary to find aliens, but it's scarier. It's scarier if we're actually just alone.
Yeah,
that's the scarier thing.
Yeah, I'd be way happier knowing there's other planets that can back us up or maybe help us or something than just us sitting in this big galaxy by ourselves.
Exactly. Like I know there's like theories that like aliens have visited us, but they've seen us, and they've realized like that we're basically like we're nothing. Like we're still like cavemen to them, because the aliens are so advanced or whatever. So they
like the Egyptians and stuff.
Yeah, so like to them, they're like, okay, humans are nothing. They're not anywhere near us.
They're like dogs compared to us, basically.
Exactly. So it's like, it's like, all right, well, screw them. We're not gonna pay attention to them. That's like a theory. But going back to like the Men in Black and everything.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is there's a lot of sightings, and here's a little theory for you. So you have these people like in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s who claim to see aliens, and were said they were visited by Men in Black who were like threatening them and everything. And then then the Men in Black movies come out or whatever, which I know this kind of sounds weird, but it's like then the movies come out. Could it be possible that the movies, and this is like an insane conspiracy theory that makes no sense at all, but imagine just that the movies are just to make everyone seem weird now if they like see aliens or whatever, to be like, oh, I see Men in Black, because now like when you think of Men in Black, I mean, at least for me, I just think of the movie with Will Smith.
I just think of Will Smith.
So now people are like, oh, I saw Men in Black or whatever, and I saw an alien, and then the Men in Black came, and now people are gonna be like, oh, it's very funny, Will Smith or something.
Yeah, and it's just like how the Men in Black even find out that those people saw UFOs.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, because it's weird.
Like, imagine seeing like a big ship in the air, and then in the morning you wake up to these dudes in black suits knocking on your door. It's like how they even, like, find out.
Well, that's
Super
more. That could be more evidence to the thing where people are saying that the Men in Black aren't humans, that they're the aliens themselves.
I kind of feel like they're aliens.
I mean, it
Because
does kind of make.
I feel like if it were the government, they would just not care. They just kick your door down and kill you. Nobody would ever.
Yeah, really.
find out.
I mean, if you're some crazy guy, you're some crazy dude who's like, oh, whatever, I saw aliens or whatever, the government, I don't think is going to care. They're like, all right, whatever, just, you're some crazy homeless dude or whatever. But
Yeah.
then you see, like, you talk to, like, a homeless dude and he's like, oh, look, I got visited by Men in Black. It's like, oh, maybe you got visited by the aliens.
Yeah, you never know.
But, like, there's, like, the thing where, you know how, like, there's people that believe that the earth is flat and everything?
Yeah.
And that the moon landing was fake? There was, like, a conspiracy theory about conspiracy theories that I read where, like, flat earth and, like, the moon landing is fake and all that are made up so that it makes real, like, when people have real ideas, like, when people have real, they're like, oh, wait, this is actually real, no one will believe them. So, like, flat earth and moon landing is fake and all that are just, like, the big things so that other conspiracy theories that actually turn out to be true just look stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I do not believe in flat earth at all.
No, me either.
Or the moon landing thing. I mean, it's stuff that's, like, you think about it for a second and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, no. But, like, I mean, maybe we can do an episode about all that at some point, but
I mean, yeah, I kind of believed the moon landing was fake at first, because it's like we were, like, at a race with Russia, and I feel like, what if we just kind of wanted to, like, feel like we won, because we had a feeling that we wouldn't, and they were, like, way ahead of us. Okay. So we were just like, all right, let's set this up so they think that we got up there already. So we basically won the Cold War.
Well, we should at some point we should do like an episode of that. Just, like, look into it, look at, you know, the both sides of everything, kind of get like that'd be pretty fun. But I'm gonna see if I can find more like Men in Black kind of thing. Let's look at UFOlogists. I'm kind of interested in this ufology thing. Like, this is a whole, like, study.
This is pretty interesting.
So let's see. Historical background. The modern UFO mythology has three traceable roots. In the late 19th century, mystery airships reported in the newspaper of the western United States. Foo Fighters reported by Allied airmen during World War II, and the Kenneth Arnold flying saucer sighting near Mount Rainier, Washington, in June 24th, 1947. So this flying.
So you said the 19th century?
Yeah. So this mystery airship.
So that's like
thing.
that's like Civil War. So just think about what technology we had. What else did they see in the air? They didn't see ships or planes. Those weren't, like, officially a thing till, like, 1910.
Like, they weren't, like, everywhere, kind of thing. It's not like today where
it wasn't just, and especially with lights. Like, when was there ever planes in the 18th century with lights?
Here, let me send you this right now so you can look at what I'm looking at. This is, like, the first reported, like, UFO sighting. Oh, I was back on the broadcast signal thing. Whoops. But if you see that picture that's there, that's the first picture of a UFO.
1870.
It's so weird to see, like, pictures from then. It's like, wow, that's.
I mean, but, like, what at that point? What was it?
I know.
What could it have been?
So here, let me read this. This might have more information for us. Mystery airships or phantom airships are a class of unidentified flying objects, best known from a series of newspaper records originating in the western United States and spreading east during late 1896 and early 1897. According to researcher Jerome Clark, airship sightings were reported worldwide during the 1800s and 1880s and 1890s. Mystery airship reports are seen as a cultural predecessor to modern claims of extraterrestrial piloted flying saucer style UFOs. So, so these are like the old, basically like the old versions of UFOs. Before, you know, you think of a UFO, you think of the like flying saucer kind of thing. But you look at that picture, that's kind of like it looks like a Zeppelin almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's. Here, let me go back. I'm gonna look at more of these. Like, I like this UFO.
Really high up. Like a blimp does not go that high.
That's yeah. And I think that
like,
picture said like peak. It was like at the peak of a mountain or something.
And that looks like at night too, which it was like really risky to fly a blimp at night, I guess.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell with like that stuff because it's like black and white, or that's kind of more like grayish or whatever. Let's see what else. There's a lot of stuff on this ufology thing.
Yeah,
that's really interesting to like look through. I'm trying to find like the best stuff. Ufology has generally not been embraced by academia as a scientific field of study. Dang it! I can't get my degree in ufology. I was really planning on that. You know what? I'm dropping out.
I wonder why though.
I mean, it says it's here. I'll keep going. Even though UFOs were during the late 1940s and early 1950s the subject of large-scale scientific studies, the lack of acceptance of ufology by academia as a field of study means that people can claim to be UFO researchers without the sorts of scientific consensus. So it's basically just that science hasn't really like accepted them yet.
Well, science doesn't really accept religion either, but you see that at the street you go to.
That's true.
Actually, like most scientists actually said they don't believe in God. Like personally, they said that.
Yeah, so it's more like I mean, I guess if you think of it, you can't really prove UFOs. Like you can't prove it for sure. You can't go and like touch it or whatever. But there's so much stuff. There's the picture from like the 1800s. There's the Roswell incident and everything that without could take.
I mean, do you know about the Heaven's Gate occult?
The cult, yeah, I've heard about them. I don't know much.
The guy said like that the people would like I think he said there was a mass suicide, and he said when they killed themselves they would be greeted by a UFO that would bring them to Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
I mean that's just weird. That's crazy.
Heaven's Gate was an American UFO religious millenarium cult based near San Diego, California.
Jeez.
So like they kind of just believed that UFOs just took you to heaven.
I mean, I feel like that's more on like the crazy side of stuff. I mean, there's more, you know, you got like the I guess, I mean, it's not really normal when you're talking about UFOs, but you have like the rational kind of people that are like, yeah, there's probably aliens. And then you have like the people from Heaven's Gate who are like, kill yourself to find the aliens.
Yeah.
I can keep looking on here because there's some. Let's go. I'm gonna start like following these little trails that the Men in Black thing kind of goes through. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even finish about like all the sightings of the Men in Black. So talking about that guy Bender, who said he claimed he was visited by men in dark suits who threatened and warned him not to continue investigating UFOs. Bender maintained that the Men in Black were secret government agents who had been given the task of suppressing evidence of UFOs. The ufologist John Keel claimed to have had encounters with Men in Black and referred to them as demonic supernaturals with dark skin and or exotic facial features. According to the ufologist Jerome Clark, reports of Men in Black represent experiences that don't seem to have occurred in the world of consensus reality. I am not smart enough to know what any of that means. I want to
dark skin and weird facial features. Like, I don't know.
I'm trying to find. There was a very popular story about alien abductions, which alien abductions scare me so much. Here it is. I just found it. And I'll send you this right now. I just found it. I remember hearing about this like when I was in like second grade, and we would talk about this. So I'm gonna read this here. Betty and Barney Hill were an American couple who claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire from September 19th to 20th, 1961. It was the first widely publicized report of an alien abduction in the United States. The incident came to be called the Hill abduction in the Zeta Reticuli incident. I'm probably saying that wrong. Because the couple stated that they had been kidnapped by aliens who claimed to be from the Zeta Reticuli system. Their story was adapted into the best-selling 1966 book The Interrupted Journey and the 1975 television movie The U.F.O. Incident. In September 2016, plans were announced to make a film based on the events with an unknown release date. I don't know if that movie's out, but I would love to watch it. So let's see. I can read this whole thing. If I remember this right, these people had like insane dreams after.
Wait, this system they're saying the aliens came from is 39.17 light years away. How did they know about this? Because I'm sure not many American citizens even knew that this place even exists.
Yeah,
so how did they?
That's a weirdly specific thing to like know.
In 1961 too, like that was like, it was like we were just in the like space race era.
So here, let me look at this. I want to look at their background, like their like what they worked as, because maybe they were like super smart or something, or maybe they were the scientists. Here, I'll look. The Hills lived in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Barney was employed by the United States Postal Service, while Betty was a social worker. Okay, so they weren't scientists or anything. Huh.
That's super weird, though. Like, how would they like know that system? Like, they could have named any system, but like, why that one? And why were they so specific with it?
I know.
Like, no human citizen, like, or no human, and in 1961 wouldn't be like, oh yeah, they were from there.
It's like, oh yeah, I know that. I mean, unless you're like some, like, I don't know, astrologist or something, or you're some like super smart dude that like knows a lot about space, because we knew a lot, we just weren't there. And they were like, oh, we can see that this exists. But I feel like a person in like the 60s, I mean early 60s, 1961, is not gonna know that much. I mean, not like I didn't know that existed until just now. Let me read about the encounter. According to a variety of reports given by the Hills, the alleged UFO sighting happened on September 19th, 1961, around 10:30 p.m. The Hills were driving back to Portsmouth from a vacation in Niagara Falls and Montreal, just south of Lancaster, New Hampshire. Betty claimed to have observed a bright point of light in the sky that moved from below the moon and the planet Jupiter, upward to the west of the moon. While Barney navigated U.S. Route 3, Betty reasoned that she was observing a falling star, only it moved upward. Since it moved erratically and grew bigger and brighter, Betty urged Barney to stop the car for a closer look, as well as to walk their dog Delcy. Barney stopped at a scenic picnic area just south of Twin Mountain. Betty, looking through binoculars, observed an odd-shaped craft flashing multicolored lights travel across the face of the moon. Because
that's super specific for someone to make up, though.
I know.
They're literally making like describing the movements it was making, what planets it was by, like.
Yeah. Because her sister had several years earlier said she had seen a flying saucer, Betty thought it might be what she was observing. Through binoculars, Barney observed that what he reasoned was a commercial airliner traveling towards Vermont on its way to Montreal. However, he soon changed his mind because without looking as if it had turned, the craft rapidly descended in his direction. The observation caused Barney to realize that this object that was a plane was not a plane. They quickly returned to the car and drove towards Franconia. I don't know how to say any of these things. Franconia Notch, a narrow mountainous stretch of the road. All right, let's get to the spicy bits. We got some background here. Barney tore the binoculars away from his eyes and ran back to the car in a near hysterical state. He told Betty, "They're going to capture us." He saw the object again shift its location to directly above the vehicle. He drove away at high speed, telling Betty to look for the object. She rolled down her window and looked up. Almost immediately, the hills heard a rhythmic series of beeping and buzzing sounds, which they said seemed to bounce off the trunk of their vehicle. The car vibrated, and a tingling sensation passed through the hills' bodies. The hills said that they then experienced the onset of an altered state of consciousness that left their minds dulled. A second series of beeping or buzzing sounds returned the couple to full consciousness. They found that they had traveled nearly 35 miles south, but had only vague, spotty memories of this section of road. They recalled making a sudden, unplanned turn, encountering a roadblock, and absorbing a fiery orb in the road. So, to them, they just lost a bunch of time. Like, they were just driving, and then they were driving somewhere else. It's scary. This is creepy stuff.
So what happened to their dog the whole time? Was it just sitting there? Did they take the dog too, or did it just...
I don't know. Here, this says immediate aftermath. Arriving home at about dawn, the Hills assert that they had some odd sensations and impulses that they couldn't readily explain. Betty insisted their luggage be kept near the back door rather than the main part of the house. Their watches would never work again. Barney said that the leather strap for the binoculars was torn, though he couldn't recall it tearing. The toes of his best dress shoes were scraped. Barney says he was compelled to examine his genitals in the bathroom, though he found nothing unusual. They took long showers to remove possible contamination, and each drew a picture of what they observed. Perplexed, the Hills said they tried to reconstruct the chronology of the events as they witnessed the UFO and drove home, but immediately after they heard the buzzing sounds, their memories became incomplete and fragmented. After sleeping for a few hours, Betty awoke and placed the shoes and clothing she had worn during the drive into the closet, observing that the dress was torn at the hem, zipper, and lining. Later, when she retrieved the items from her closet, she noticed a pink powder on her dress. She hung the dress on her clothesline, and the pink powder blew away. But the dress was irreparably damaged. She threw it away, but then changed her mind, retrieving the dress and hanging it in her closet. Over the years, 5 laboratories have conducted chemical and forensic analyses on the dress. There were shiny concentric circles on their car's trunk that had not been there the previous day. Betty and Barney experimented with a compass, noting that when they moved it close to the spots, the needle would whir rapidly, but when they moved it a few inches away from the shiny spots, it would drop down.
I feel like this is way too much evidence for it to be wrong.
That's a lot of, but then...
why would they just sit down and be like, let's make this all up so we can get famous? Because they obviously didn't gain any fame from it. There's,
they're well known. They did get a book from it, which is, for, the 60s, that's kind of a big thing. But it seems
but TVs are also just starting to get pretty big as well.
Yeah, but it seems like, there's better ways. This is so weirdly specific as a way to get famous.
Yeah, do you think maybe, the rips in her dress were maybe, where, one of the machines for the alien, ripped their dress open to, scan their DNA or something, maybe?
That's possible. Let me keep going, because this is some weird stuff. Let's see. 10 days after the alleged UFO encounter, Betty began having a series of vivid dreams. They continued for 5 successive nights. Never in her memory had she recalled dreams in such detail and intensity, but they stopped abruptly after 5 nights and never returned. They occupied her thoughts during the day. When she finally did mention them to Barney, he was sympathetic but not too concerned, and the matter was dropped. Betty did not mention them to Barney again. In November of 1961, Betty began writing down the details of her dreams. In one dream, she and Barney encountered a roadblock and men who surrounded their car. She lost consciousness but struggled to regain it. She then realized that she was being forced by 2 small men to walk in a forest in the nighttime, and seeing Barney walking behind her. Though when she called to him, he seemed to be in a trance or sleepwalking. The men stood about 5 feet to 5 feet 4 inches tall and wore matching blue uniforms with caps similar to those worn by military cadets. They appeared nearly human with black hair, dark eyes, prominent noses, and bluish lips. Their skin was a grayish color. So that's kind of the same thing that the Men in Black people were talking about. They were talking about the skin being like a gray color, with them being like the guy who was saying like exotic features. So that could be like the dark eyes and the noses.
Do you think maybe you're like? I mean, her husband seemed to be like avoiding and like white, like blowing all this off topic. Like, do you think maybe he's like being watched by the alien? Because they said he was in a trance, so maybe they like put like they're like slowly observating him.
Well, that's it. That's in her dream. That was her dream. The whole thing with the.
Oh.
But let me see. It did say that like Barney was like trying. Like he felt bad, but he's like, oh, that's nothing or whatever. Basically, that seems weird. That seems like it's kind of.
I mean, if you look at the deaths, he died 8 years later, and Betty died in 2004.
Oh.
So like,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he also died earlier.
I did not see that. That's interesting. Huh. I wonder if like, say, okay, wow. So like, say they did something. Say all of this did happen. I mean, here we go. Let's see. Okay, here we have hypnosis sessions. They had hypnosis sessions to try to remember like what they did or what happened to them. So here's Barney's. Simon hypnotized Barney first. Simon is this doctor. Simon hypnotized Barney first. His recall of witnessing non-human figures was quite emotional, punctuated with expressions of fear, emotional outbursts, and incredibility. Barney said that due to his fear, he kept his eyes closed for most of the abduction and physical examination. Based on these early responses, Simon told Barney that he would not remember the hypnosis sessions until he was certain he could remember them without being further traumatized. Under hypnosis, as was consistent with his conscious recall, Barney reported that the binocular strap had broken when he ran from the UFO back to his car. He recalled driving the car away from the UFO, but that afterwards he felt irresistibly compelled to pull off the road and drive into the woods. He eventually sighted 6 men standing in the dirt road. The car stalled and 3 of the men approached the car. They told Barney to not fear them. He was still anxious, however, and he reported that the leader told Barney to close his eyes. While hypnotized, Barney said, I felt like the eyes had pushed into my eyes. That's creepy.
So weird.
Barney described the beings as generally similar to Betty's hypnotic not dream recollection. The beings often stared into his eyes, said Barney, with a terrifying, mesmerizing effect. Under hypnosis, Barney said things like, oh, those eyes, they're all I see in my brain. Ugh.
That's really weird.
There's a lot more stuff you can read here, and those that are watching can read on the screen this little part that I'm highlighting. I don't feel like reading that out loud. Yeah. It's just what they did with his genitals. Um, so this is just creepy stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This is so weird. It's this is like my worst fear, honestly. I am so scared of getting abducted by aliens. I used to be scared of that when I was little. I was like, oh, I don't. I had like dreams of getting abducted by aliens. I'm like, oh, I don't like it. But this is such a weird thing. Like it's not like a like we were saying earlier. It's not like a kind of. It's such a weird thing to make up and to be so like specifically detailed in. Because like there's other stories, you know, someone can tell you a story like, oh, I got abducted by aliens, they did surgery on me, they dropped me off somewhere. They dropped me off like right back where I was. It's like, okay, that's cool. Maybe that happened.
Yeah, but like the fact that they like put step by step and then spent money to see it, like a hip or whoever it's called,
like hypnotist. Someone?
Yeah, hypnotist. Why would they spend money if they're just lying?
I know, why would they do that? Why would they went to like the Air Force and stuff to like talk to them and be like, hey, we saw this thing. Like if you're going for a hoax, I feel like you don't like, maybe you do to get like credibility or whatever, but it shows that they didn't like go straight to the Air Force. Like they waited a couple days. They're like, okay, well, maybe it was a bad dream or maybe it was something weird, but then they finally realized they're like, okay, we gotta tell somebody because this is definitely wrong. And if you keep reading, I'm not gonna read everything because, you know, I don't want this thing to go on for too long. It's probably already been going on for a while. But it said that both of their, when they did hypnosis, both of their oh, my voice cracked. Both of their both of their stories like lined up, and that's like in hypnosis and everything. So, you know, it's not like they were really like thinking everything through. So that would have been the chance to be like, reveal all your lies or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's wild. All right, well, I think we've done a very fun time doing these little deep dives here. We got into some interesting stuff. It was fun. That was a grand old time. We talked about the My Way killings. We talked about the Buckwheat Boys. Did a little big dive on TV hackings and the Men in Black, which led us to all this. It was fun. That was a good old time. That was a grand old time. I hope all of you that are listening or watching or whatever enjoyed us talking about aliens and other such strange things. Hopefully we can do more of this. This is fun. This is a grand old time. Is. So yeah, this has been Unnatural Frightening and Occult U.F.O. Thank you all for watching. This has been a very fun time. Hope to do this more. Anything you would like to say?
Definitely. No.
All right. So long, everybody. Hope you all enjoy this little podcast here. Hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.